Hey, this is a response to Reese's video, What a Drag. You can check it out. And he asks folks to respond with some videos about their own thoughts on what counts as drag and how have people's perceptions of drag changed over time and what our experiences have been. Thanks for starting that up, Reese. I've been wanting to talk a little bit about this for quite a while now. So you've given me the nudge to do it. So a little bit about my background in drag. Started doing drag probably about 7 years ago as an undergrad, and at that point, my understanding of drag from someone who had never done it before and just been to pretty much a show was very, very narrow. Kind of the mainstream perspective of it's men dressed up as women, and every once in a while, maybe there's a woman dressed up as a man. So that was pretty much my perspective that I had out there. As I started questioning my gender, drag actually became an opportunity for me to dress up as a guy and get up on stage, do something cute or entertaining or fun or whatever, and literally get applauded for my appearance. You know, as I presented myself as a masculine female at the time, that wasn't something that I was getting. Wasn't that there wasn't this validation of identity and masculinity for me, and drag really became that. But as I got into it a lot more, it became something very, very different. I was a part of a troupe called Drag King Rebellion. They're based in Michigan, and they still perform and are still around. And at that point, we were very much kind of like an entertainment troupe. Did a bunch of boy band numbers and ballads and that kind of thing, kind of like the typical stuff. And then we decided to go to the International Drag King Extravaganza 6. This is an annual conference slash performance slash all kinds of stuff that happens. It's typically in October. It happens in different places each year, and this sixth one was in Chicago, so it was really close to us. So we decided to go, thinking, oh, we're gonna learn about how to be even better drag kings and meet other drag kings and all this stuff, and didn't really expect what we got, which was this great opportunity to reflect on the power of drag, as well as the shitty things that drag can do. Went to sessions like cultural appropriation of drag, how women are used as props, and basically the sexism of drag, and all these other sessions that really looked at isms and power and privilege and all kinds of identity interactions that happen on this stage. As well as within troops and in preparation and the actual performances and all this stuff. So, and we watched these numbers that absolutely blew our minds, because people were doing things with drag that we had never ever seen before. If you're interested in it, if this is something that grabs your attention for whatever reason, check it out. If it's not from a drag perspective, if it's from a social justice perspective, a sociological perspective, check it out. So we really changed the direction of our troupe after that. It really pushed us to look at ourselves and see what the kinds of ways that we were redoing isms, and we hadn't thought about that. The ways that we were reinforcing sexism and racism and all kinds of things through our performances, and really evaluated what we wanted our troupe to be about, and that obviously wasn't it. We started doing a lot more activist numbers, so numbers that highlighted events that were going on in the world, like the stuff with Killer Coke, or stuff that's happening in Ciudad Juarez, and all kinds of different events that we wanted to highlight, or had conversations about race, and all kinds of things. So for me, what drag really became was this tool to promote social justice, and to basically give folks a different mode and a different medium to look at isms, and to see how we can undo certain things, how we can work on certain things, because not everyone can do workshops and trainings and deep dialogue conversations. People's thought processes and how they process information differs. So this was just an artistic way and a performative way of having these conversations, which was amazing. So I guess that's, and so like in terms of what counts as drag, I think for me drag is gender performance. It's not, doing opposite stuff, or however we typically think of drag, and considering that there is a diversity of gender identities, gender expressions. Some of the examples that Reese talked about in terms of, doing drag and performing as a bearded lady, or playing a different type of masculinity and dressing up as a bougie professor, nerdy type. Like, for me, it really is about exploring masculinities and femininities and everything in between, and yes, mocking and criticizing certain types of masculinities, and trying to promote the diversity of ways that people can be. I think sometimes I find myself being very uncomfortable and critical of the idea of mocking femininity, because of where femininity is in terms of the power structure, and it's definitely not high up. We don't value femininity. We often judge it, and have all kinds of ways that we use femininity to oppress women instead of celebrate women. All kinds of ways that our treatment of femininity is really, really messed up. So I struggle a lot with mocking of femininity, and which is not to say that I think drag queens are a bad idea or anything. I've seen a lot of drag queens that do an amazing job in celebrating femininity, and valuing it, and doing beautiful, fabulous things with that. But I've also seen drag queens that do really horrible things to femininity, and how they display themselves in those situations. I've also, I feel like when it comes to what types of masculinities and what types of femininities we're mocking or criticizing, I think it's also important to keep in mind some of the other identities. Reese talked about, working class masculinity, for example. I think another piece for me is really having a hard time when white drag kings perform black masculinity, whether they're doing it as, 50 Cent is really popular, so I'm going to do a 50 Cent number because everyone in the audience is going to love it, and I'm going to get a lot more tips, or it's these exaggerated, stereotyped performances of rappers, and whatever other stereotype you want to put in terms of black or Latino masculinities. And that is extremely problematic, because that is the primary way that I think that drag really reinforces racism and cultural appropriation, is when kings just kind of, take on these personas and these identities that it's not for them to occupy. It's not for them to criticize and mock. And I think we really need to keep in mind the different hierarchies and privilege and power structures when we're discussing drag. Running out of time, so I have to cut this short, but I'll continue this conversation later.